having us back. And, we have had our share of blowouts, Harry Mayes.
Yeah.
But in this case, this one stings the most because this is the biggest game anybody on the court, including the head coach, has ever been involved in, including Jimmy Butler, including Tobias Harris. And yet this team has come up smaller than my new Weimaraner, who comes up to my knees on all fours.
Yeah, well, I tell you, Ace brings his game each and every day. And you cannot say that about several of these Sixers in the starting lineup. Most of them. You're exactly right. I mean, at least Jimmy Butler, has shown up tonight. I know he's a -9, but at least he's a guy giving effort, got to the free throw line 10 times, made 9 of them. He's got 19 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. He's affecting the game. Joel Embiid, and I know there's an upper respiratory infection or whatever's going on, has basically been a no-show. And Ben Simmons, now what kind of malady does he have? Does he have a bad knee? Does he have a boiler issue? Yeah. Does he have an upper respiratory issue? Or does he have the 5 inches between your ears issue? Or is it right here in the heart?
I think it's definitely mental and heart related. And it's unfortunate because Joel Embiid isn't going to whip it. Here's the thing. Joel Embiid, and we're going to take all your comments. Jared already on the text board. Yeah. So we're talking Phillies. I love it.
How about Bryce Harper tonight?
Yeah.
Boom!
About damn time when you're hitting
grand slam
panel level numbers. It's about time when you bounce back.
He's going to be fine. He's going to be fine.
I'm not complaining. But my point of it is that here tonight with this game, you look at what's happened and you start to lay it out. This is a disgrace where you're not going to be able to impact Joel. Like, he's not going to go from upper respiratory to healthy. He's not going to go from banged up knee to healthy overnight. But what you can change and what we saw change is the difference of Ben Simmons in game 1 against the Nets versus game 2 against the Nets. And we should have seen a difference tonight. Instead, we did not. Now, that's something I can say could have changed from game 4 to game 5 of this series.
Yeah. No, you're right. And John checks in. He says the process is now the prognosis. It's not a bad idea for a guy that spent a couple hours in the hospital over the weekend. Right. Prognosis. It's a good word.
You're right. And I think Joel Embiid, if he wants to define the process, that's not a bad phrase right now to say where we are right now, which is just every single day before a game, there's question, there's concern. This team right now, 23-point lead with 3:33 left in the third quarter. I know this. After 4 games in this series, the Raptors are not this good and the Sixers are not this bad. So what the hell happened? This is not a representation of what we got of an average of the 4 games for the first 4 of this series.
Well, it's interesting you say that because, everybody, we were all talking about how Kawhi Leonard has just dominated this series. When Toronto's been good, it's been because Kawhi, and he's basically gotten no support. Tonight he got some support. I mean, through the first half, he had support from, Kyle Lowry. Where's my notes here? We got Lowry, Siakam, and Green all contributed. They had 37 points of Toronto's 64. They were 11 for 22 from the field. That's 50%, and 6 of 11 from three-pointers. And that's all a result of a majority of defensive schemes which were doubling Kawhi Leonard to take him out. I think he got his first 2 points near the end of the first quarter. He was really –
a little bit.
You know what I mean? He didn't do much offensively. Yet they still had the lead by 5 or 6 points, and he had 2. So that was an instant sign to me that this was a bad night for Philadelphia.
Who do you think we see first, Jeremy Lin or Boban?
I'd say Boban. You probably get him beat
at all tonight.
I know, but you probably get him beat out of there and put Boban in. Your man with the cauliflower ears, who I love, and you disparage on a daily basis on the Mayes and Eytan show, which you can hear live on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN app from noon to 2. But I'd say Boban. What say you?
At this point, I think the Raptors start resting guys before the Sixers do, and I think you'll see Jeremy Lin. Look, Dabo Swinney there. How about that?
Dabo Swinney.
Yeah.
Well,
you didn't see Dabo just now on the screen?
No, I didn't. Was he there?
Yeah, he's sitting front row, like 3 seats back.
Oh, good for him. He's probably recruiting somebody up in Ontario.
Illegally, I'm sure.
Some big offensive lineman or something.
Come on, they're showing you the pickup game with Dabo and the Clemson gear.
I'm just looking at this too. Some of my notes. The first half was really interesting.
What talked about the first half was interesting?
Well, it was interesting that when the Toronto bench came in, they did not give up ground when Lowry or Kawhi went to the bench.
Right. Which is the storyline of this season. Or
exactly. And part of that reason was Serge Ibaka, who they're showing right now with this big Band-Aid, like an ace bandage on his forehead, who got a big knock from Kawhi. Kawhi must have pointy freaking elbows. He must have like these real, you ever notice people with pointy elbows?
Yeah, sure. They sharpen them.
Really pointy elbow bones. If she popped me in the grill, I'd bleed immediately. It's amazing. She was down here watching. She goes, Kawhi must have elbows like me. he popped Ibaka right in the forehead, and boom, started bleeding. Right. He goes off the court, gets a couple stitches, gets a bandage, comes right back in. He had 10 points at halftime, and 10 points is great. But he provides an energy that when he comes off that bench, and say what you will about him, at this point in his career, he provides energy. What guy on the bench for the Sixers? What guy in the starting lineup today?
J.J. Redick? J.J. Redick. That's it. But you can't ask you, you can't win basketball games in the playoffs by handing the ball to Jimmy Butler and say create for 48 minutes. It's just not going to work.
No, I agree.
Get out coach. Brett Brown is, and again, I'm not blaming the loss on Brett Brown, but I'm saying when you're down by 20 points for the majority of this game, your head coach is as culpable as guys on the floor.
Well, it's amazing, too, because look at Brett. Brett looks like a man without answers right now. And
that's been the story. Every time this team is down, that's been the story.
This team goes as Joel Embiid goes. And Barkley, I don't know if you saw it at halftime, really hit it right on the head.
He did. And rightfully so, I think. And I'm happy that Charles took a shot.
Yeah, he goes, he was walking like he was on his deathbed prior to the game. And he said he drains the energy from the room. And I thought that was really poignant commentary because you could just tell the way he wears his heart on his sleeve. You can always tell what he's feeling by looking at him. And I think he does send a message to the rest of his teammates like, oh, I got nothing. I'm playing like ass or whatever, whatever he does. And it brings everything else down on this squad.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. You can definitely feel it.
Charles, not me. I'm agreeing with Charles.
No, but I'm saying the point that you raised by using Charles' comment, and I think that it's unfortunate, but it's almost like a glaring sign of his immaturity. When things are going well, you don't want anybody else but Joel Embiid in the room. You want him, his energy, you want his arms wide open, you want everything about Joel Embiid when things are going well. Yet when things are going bad, it's like it's the total opposite.
Right.
And I think that is a sign of immaturity where you don't
let immaturity
or illness or injury get in the way of anything as far as maybe your play is one thing, but as far as your teammates and as far as your energy on the floor or in the locker room, that's evident here.
Yeah. Now, we got a couple other comments here. TF says, can I be real here for a second? On this show, that's all you can be. He says, that Greg Monroe shot in the second quarter may have been the saddest thing I've ever seen.
That's a good representation of being down and giving up a 20-point difference in the second quarter right there.
That kind of sums up the game, doesn't it?
I think at this point, yeah. But I'm still pissed at Monroe than I am at Simmons, so go figure. Less pissed. at Monroe.
Well, yeah, he's less pissed at Monroe.
Yeah.
I agree with him.
Now, I don't know, honestly. It's a 20-point game, man, in the fourth quarter. What are you really looking at right now? And I'm not asking like to change or to improve or to win this game. I'm just saying from an entertainment standpoint, like this team has just been shot to I forget. Can we curse? We can curse on this one. We do.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
I know. But we do things. Sometimes we can't. Sometimes we can. This team has been shot to shit for 3 quarters. And if they do come out, and if they do cut this thing and only lose by 4, I'm going to be more upset than if they lose by 24.
Listen,
because
if they
hell with that energy for the first 3 quarters.
No. If they lose by 4, and in your scenario, it's because Toronto took their foot totally off the gas. They put the car on cruise control, and it was like one of those self-driving cars. They went in the back and took a nap. That's the only way that happens.
That's it. It's just a lot of Jeremy Lin and Van Vliet.
Yeah, Van Vliet. Maybe it's Greta Van Fleet's time to come on and knock down a couple 3-pointers, sing like Led Zeppelin, do the immigrant song.
Right. That knockoff song that they have.
Yeah, the knockoff song. Yeah.
Do you think anybody on the Raptors knows who Greta Van Vliet is?
Yeah, they probably do. They're from Michigan, so it's practically Canada.
Okay, but it's not right there, right? No, Toronto isn't that far. No, right? Lake Ontario.
Dude, you can drive from Detroit to Toronto in no time.
That's right.
Detroit is right across the water from Windsor, Canada, and then you're almost in Toronto.
You've done that drive before.
No, I haven't. I've never been to Toronto. I'd like to go.
I've been to Toronto once to see a Blue Jays game. And it was really cool, man. We saw the roof retract. That was it.
Wait a second.
What?
You were in Toronto and you went to a baseball game?
Yeah, so I was probably like
game?
No. I was like 13 years old, and I was with my mom, and we went to Montreal and Toronto, and we saw the Phillies play Montreal, and we were in Toronto, and there was a baseball game. So we're like, all right, well, why don't we just go to the baseball game? It was during baseball season. It's not like I flew to Toronto to see a baseball game.
All right, Megan checks in. Do you hear this? She's talking about Greta.
Yeah.
Greta might shoot as well as Van Fleet, to be fair.
No argument there at all. I think Megan's onto something. Van Vliet is atrocious. But
he was good at Wichita State, man.
He was, but there's a difference when you come to the NBA. All right, so a couple people weighing in. David Embiid has to stop eating 3 Chick-fil-A sandwiches before every game. That's why he's always sick. Now, let's be fair here. You can't get an upper respiratory infection from eating fast food. You can be out of shape.
How do you know?
Because an upper respiratory infection, it doesn't work that way. We do have to refer to some principles of medical science, Harry.
His immune system is awful.
Okay, but you can get like gastroenteritis. Yes. If you have something like that, okay, that can be connected to fast food. But if you're talking about a respiratory infection, you can't get that from eating a Chick-fil-A sandwich. But David's not necessarily wrong as far as eating all that crap for a diet. But come on. Like, as out of shape as he is, this guy got sick. I don't know how he got sick, and that's always a concern that he's constantly got something wrong. But I don't think it's the same principle, is my point.
No, I agree with you. It's just piling on. There's always something going on with this guy. Notice how we haven't heard about the knee. We talked about it on the radio show today, right? And yesterday. It's like all of a sudden, he had this creaky knee, tendonitis. That's not going to go away. It's a chronic condition, apparently. You're not hearing about that. You're hearing about all this other stuff.
I tell you one thing that has been glaring tonight is the turnovers from Embiid. I know that he'll throw the ball away here or there.
Oh, yeah. Tonight's bad.
He looks like this is day 3 at Kansas, and he's trying to integrate himself into the offense.
He's got 8 turnovers tonight.
This is absurd right now. How bad.
Simmons has 5. They got 13 turnovers between them.
Yeah. And Simmons, you think, okay, you're going to have the ball in your hands a lot. There's going to be a lot of pressure on you. They're going to defend you high up. You'll probably turn the ball over, 3 to 4 times tonight. You kind of go in there expecting that. But Embiid and the manner in which he's turning the ball over, missing wide open guys in a double team, passing out of a double team at least twice, and throwing the ball into the stands.
Now, I talked to you about this today on the show. I was driving down. I got up at 4:30 this morning. I ate a banana, got a cup of coffee. All I ate today between 4:30 in the morning and 4:30 in the afternoon was a banana.
Why?
Because I did not choose to engage in the continental breakfast at the golf tournament because I don't like continental breakfast.
Well, yeah, that probably puts you right back in the Embiid stomach issue.
Right. I grabbed a couple waters, put them in a cart, drank the waters, took off after 11 holes, came over to do the show, and after the show, drove home, went to a place that I got to pick up. I did some moving today again, and finally got home at 4:30 and ate something. And I felt fine. All right. And, oh, boy. Wow. It was that Oh, no, it was Gasol.
No, it's Gasol.
Okay. All right.
I mean, at what point are you looking at this game thinking, do you make a decision? Do you make a personnel decision before the next game? Like, do you fire an assistant before the next game?
No.
Baseball, these things happen in baseball. You get somebody just canned in the middle of a 7-game series because they don't know what the hell they're doing. Mitch, you know what I'm saying?
That's been done?
Yeah.
Has that happened?
Yeah. Come on.
They're already going to lose one of their good assistants to the Phoenix Suns.
Correct. Monty. Because
I might think of trying to ship Ben Simmons along with him out to Phoenix if they get the number 2 pick and take Ja Morant.
No.
Yes.
Didn't they fire Milt Thompson in the middle of some stretch?
No, he was a hitting coach or something.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, not a manager. Okay. Like, they'll fire some assistant.
The hitting coach can get fired at any point in time.
Yeah, so who's the defensive assistant? If I'm the Sixers, I fire Monty Williams. He's already gone, right?
He's gone.
So I fire him.
You can't fire him. He's already gone.
He's not on the sidelines?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, he's already going to be gone.
No. I know. I'm not saying, like, you give him severance, like firing that way. What my point of it is, you fire his ass out of the building. You say, all right, you're done. We're making a statement and saying we're removing something from this team. It happens to be the best coach that they have, but you start to think to yourself, at what point did they make a mistake and let Mike D'Antoni go back to Houston? If you're going to fire Brett Brown at the end of this year, then I think you have to look back and say, who did you let go in lieu of keeping Brown for a final year?
Yeah.
Would it be Mike D'Antoni? Would it be Monty Williams? To be honest with you, I'd rather have both. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, what the hell's going on? All right, here we go. We're still taking plenty of chats coming in here, plenty of texts coming in on the chat board. But remember, the fan line is at the top right corner, and you guys can hang out face-to-face. We'd love to see you as well as read your chat. So you can jump right in. It's the easiest thing. You hit the fan line button at the top right. We'll continue reading all your chats, but trust us, it's really cool. It's a nice feature that Fancred has where you can be a part of the show. And then you go back to see the YouTube. I know. I'm trying to explain what's going on here. All right? Stop hijacking the teas, Harry. Now you go ahead. Do your whole thing and do your tea made in Philly.
The Phillies are up 9-1. That's all I know.
Where'd you get that T-shirt?
It was at a game.
Oh, yeah?
A couple of years ago. Yeah, it was one of those things. The reason I wore it is because you were talking about putting the T-shirts over the seats, right?
Yes.
This was one of those nights a couple of years ago. I took the T-shirt, never wore it, stuck it in a drawer, and I thought I'd wear it tonight.
What is that sponsorship on the side? Getty Gasoline or another one? Oh, Rush Order. Rush Order.
Hey, it's our boys.
Look at that. You didn't even know. I had no idea. It's Rush Order. I thought that was like one of the sponsors for – did you know that was a Rush Order tee? You had no idea.
Of course it is.
You had no idea. Look at you. You had no freaking clue. Otherwise, you would have led with that. You would have led with it if you had known.
No, I would not have.
I got those guys on 29.
I know you did. I saw that.
And it's not. I don't want praise. They deserve the praise.
They sponsor a part of the Atlantic City Expressway as far as that clean. You know how they put signs out saying, clean road or whatever, sponsored by Rush Order Tees. I saw the sign today.
You think that shit really works?
It should. I would be out there cleaning the road. I hate litter.
Okay, but all you're doing is you're paying for a stretch, right? Now, I'm not coming down on Rush Order and anybody else doing this.
No, but that means your people go out and clean that stretch from time to time.
You don't go out with, like, your buddies and clean the stretch. You're paying for the city or the township to pay.
No. I didn't take it that way.
Yes.
I would go out there. If there was a stretch,
it'd lock you up.
If there was a stretch of the I-95 or the Schuylkill, 422, when we go out to Oaks, it's dirty as hell on the side. I see litter and it enrages me. If there was a Mayes and Eytan stretch, I would be out there picking up the trash, putting it in a bag. And then you'd have people zipping stuff at you. Good.
Crushed up Coke cans flying at your head. Anthony's in Montclair. He's joining us, Harry, on the fan line. And again, all you have to do, like Anthony, is click on that fan line at the top right corner, and you can hang out face to face. Anthony!
No. Hey, Ton. Hi, Harry. How you doing?
What's up?
This is an awful game tonight.
Brutal.
You got the right shirt on, though.
Yeah, well, they're winning right tonight. But I think that Embiid. I think Barkley's right on the nose with that comment about he takes the juice right out of the team.
Yeah, no doubt.
When Will Reed played for the Knicks, when he dragged his foot onto the field, onto the court when he was hurt, he's energized the team. There's a way to play.
He only scored 4 points in that game. But that energy that he gave to those teammates, seeing him come out of the tunnel saying, I'm taking all these shots in my knee and I'm gonna suck it up and give you something, provided energy for the rest of his team. You're exactly right. Embiid, Barkley is dead on. He's a drain right now.
Yeah. Well, I think Embiid's a great player, but
so do I.
Up a little bit.
Yeah, and I think we all agree on that, right, Anthony, where we have we all root for this kid and we all believe that he can be special, but it's like you see these signs of immaturity and you're kind of like, are we really still at this point? Like, you should be past that where you're taking your diet seriously, or if you're sick, you're not looking for attention by draining the energy of the room. It doesn't mean we don't love him. It doesn't mean we don't want him.
Right. And Simmons, where does Simmons get off dictating his own shooting coach? If he's playing for the Sixers, they dictate the shooting coach, and this is what we need you to do. It's nonsense. I don't get it.
That's a good point.
I don't even know if it's about the shooting coach. And I said this
his brother-in-law. You don't hire family to coach you.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
brother, right?
Regardless of who the shooting coach is, I think he's scared to shoot in games. He can shoot all he wants in a gym, against the shooting coach, or put a chair there, whatever you want to do, and show videos. It's all bullshit. Until he has the balls to pull the trigger in a game, it doesn't matter.
It's true. It's Markelle Fultz shooting threes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They got one of the best shooters at Herb McGee at Philadelphia University.
Precisely.
It doesn't make sense.
Shooting guru.
Hey, Anthony, I'm looking on the text board right now. JB weighs in. Need more Anthony. Man speaks sense. So you're getting some love.
All right.
One appearance on this show, and he's getting love. How about that?
We need you back, all right?
All right, man. Nice talking to you guys.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate that.
I love that.
There's a point to be made, though, with that, which is, you're looking at the level of immaturity combined with the frustration we have as fans of him. And I don't know if this thing actually goes away. And there's immaturity with Simmons and there's immaturity with Embiid. And you're right, where it's like, how many videos do you need to see of a guy knocking down threes? Here's the thing. Forget threes. How about taking it to the rack and putting people in foul trouble?
Oh, now we talked about this earlier. I'm driving down this morning early. I'm flipping around the radio stations, and all the fanboys on Philadelphia sports radio.
Yeah.
All about Ben Simmons having this big bounce back game tonight. He's going to come out bull snort emoji, and he's going to take it to the rack, and he's going to play aggressively. Bullshit. I don't know why you would think that would happen. Oh, because it happened against the Nets? The Nets don't play any freaking defense.
No, and
he is afraid.
It was a major misnomer to look at that first round series and take anything away from it that would be able to carry over against Toronto. We just saw Toronto
take over tonight.
What's that?
Ben's going to take over tonight. What?
No, I don't get that. And again, we only saw it one time. Really, one time.
Yeah, and that was after they got booed in game 1, right?
Yep.
And then he played well in game 2 and really well. I think in game 3, his numbers were pretty good. And since then, he's been nothing.
Correct. That's been the biggest frustrating part of it. Now, I saw something earlier about Brett Brown, and not just the blaming of it, but here's one from Ben, or on Ben, from Bill. Ben is soft and scared to take it hard like a man. There are so many players laughing at the fact that Embiid is a little boy and a fraud. Jimmy is the only one who deserves a max deal. Well, they're all going to get max money.
Well, Jimmy does deserve a max deal.
Right.
To me.
Yeah, I do as well. I definitely think so. Is it Themis? Pardon us. I butchered this before. In Northeast Philly. He's joining us.
Oh, Themis,
right?
TJ, whatever. TJ Themis. You guys know my face.
Oh, dude.
What's up, boys?
What's up?
Well, we know you as TJ.
I had to call you guys because I felt so fucking bad for you that you at the broadcast were in this bullshit. This is bullshit.
Well, it's just a show for us. We're just doing a show. You know that.
Right now, I'm watching the third period of the Stars fucking Blues game 7.
Give us an update.
1-1, 15 minutes left in the third period, boys. It might go to overtime game 7. Right to go to the Western Finals, but
I got to be honest. I think I'm making the switch as well. I have the game on my computer and the TV, and I think at this point, like I'm.
Well, I got the Phillies on. It's 10-1.
Yeah,
and
blown out.
Blowout baseball is worse than blowout basketball.
It is.
Yeah, this is brutal, man, boys. This is fucking pathetic tonight. I can't believe. After a game like that in game 4, they come out and they show the same bullshit-ass effort. It's very fucking – I'm sorry I'm cursing much. I'm just aggravated right now.
Curse away.
But I know we're unedited, but, yeah, I just wanted to call you guys in, say what's up. And I don't know, man. Are you guys going to be doing this game 6?
Well
I don't know.
We'll see.
And I hope so.
Yes, listen, we're here for it. We don't know
I'll be available.
The schedule is concerned. Hopefully, and you know, you bring up game 6. Who knows if you come back? They did win a game in Philadelphia against the Raptors. So if they do get a game against Toronto and you go back to Toronto game 7, it's a different conversation. And I know it sucks to have that combo because they're in the process of getting their ass just handed to them. But that's that's like the beauty of this 6-7 game series is you're still technically alive.
Yeah, they're alive. But
also,
go ahead, Harry.
The Sixers would be playing basically like pressure free, getting to game 7 in Toronto.
Yeah,
because everybody would be expecting Toronto to win that game.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on them too.
True.
And they historically fouled, but it's been tough, man. And like nobody, like Embiid sucks, and like Tobias Harris misses everything he takes. It's just crazy.
Redick sucks tonight too.
It's crazy. Everything sucked tonight, but whatever. It is what it is, boys. I'll be listening tomorrow.
Thanks, TJ.
Too. So, I'll call you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. All right.
You got it, brother.
There you go. Beautiful. Thanks for checking in. Now,
one thing we got a gem tonight. A gem. What? Did you see this? It's now been immortalized in GIF form. Brett Brown, at one point, on the bench with his arms crossed, leaning back like he's about to go into an MRI machine.
I was in one of those over the weekend.
It was hilarious. I just tweeted it out. So if anybody hasn't seen it, at Shander Show.
At Shander Show. Here it is.
At Harry Mayes to you.
The first mention of at Shander Show.
I want to make sure that people can see this, what I'm talking about, and have it up on the same computer in a different window as Fancred so that they're following along with us as well. Now, my point of it is that this has been immortalized. Have you seen this GIF? It's up there.
Hold on. I'm looking.
Now, he's got his arms crossed, and he's like this, and he's just like,
oh yeah. Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's great.
That's going to be up there.
That is phenomenal.
That's going to be there forever. Immortalized in GIF form. 6 years from now, when we got different players, different coach, everything, the team will get blown out by 30 in a random night against the Dallas Mavericks, and you're going to see people pasting that GIF everywhere.
You know, I'm going to retweet that. How about that?
Thank you. I would appreciate that.
Shander show. And the other thing that makes me think about that is the quote that we got earlier this week. It's a virus.
Yes.
That one? That is awesome.
It is awesome. I think we might have to play Mike D'Antoni choking and saying, I hope I don't choke, over and over again as far as the theme song for this year's team here in Toronto. I don't know.
Boban's in. Boban.
Nah, I'm out. I'm out on Bo. When Boban is in, I am out. Okay.
Well, what was the thing? Like, who were we going to see first? What was the
Lynn or Boban?
Okay, is Lynn in there?
No, I don't think Lynn's played yet.
No, he's not in. So I win.
Well, okay, you win. Congratulations. Yeah. Lynn,
all right.
Lynn still hasn't played yet. You know, Jody Meeks has less than a minute's worth of time, and
not Jody Mack.
What's that?
Not Jody Mack.
No, not Jody Mack. Is there another
love
Meeks?
Love Jody Mack.
Not Kevin Weeks.
Kyle on the app says, legitimate question, guys. The Raptors fired their coach after being the top seed in the East last year. I brought that up weeks ago with you. We talked about it. He goes, they're about to go farther in the playoffs. Is that the path forward for the Sixers? That is a very good question and observation.
And my answer is yes.
Yes.
Because not about an X and O thing. It's no longer about X's and O's. It's no longer about game planning. It's no longer about sideline play execution after a timeout. It's about communicating, and it's about a message. Here's the thing. Why not use the best example that we've had over the last 6 years? LeBron James has only been able to play successfully with one coach. It's not because Tyronn Lue is a better coach than anybody else. It's because LeBron chooses to listen to Lue. And for whatever reason, these guys are not.
You listen to Spoelstra too.
Well, to a lesser extent, I'm saying last 5 years though. When was he? He wasn't with Miami 5 years ago.
Okay. No, but I mean, I'm just saying, like Spoelstra's a pretty good coach.
Okay, but what I'm saying though is that it's not about good or bad coach. It's not about X's and O's. It's not about whether or not Eric Spoelstra is a good coach, which I agree with you, he is. It's about choosing to listen. And I'm not saying that's the reason why LeBron left Miami was more because of Pat Riley. But the bottom line for me, Harry, with this team is that for whatever reason, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, first and foremost, are refusing
to respond to it.
They don't.
No, you're right.
It's about big picture stuff they're not responding to. It's not about, hey, you should have passed the ball there or you should have taken it to the rack.
You're absolutely right. No, that is.
Unfortunately, I have to agree with Kyle and say the guy's got to go because you need to bring somebody with a fresh voice.
Now, it's kind of what I was saying a couple of weeks ago before the playoffs even really got started. Is that, you know, the two biggest assets on this team that were cultivated throughout this whole process, like, don't appear to be responding or advancing their careers with this coach. Now Embiid's career, as far as his game advances, because he works like hell on it, but his off-the-court stuff and his body management and all those other things, which are really key to it, he doesn't seem to give a shit about it with Brett Brown as the basketball coach.
Correct.
You know,
and I don't know if, you know, and let's be honest, like Elton Brand is new to this position, and I'm hoping that he can step in and be a really good general manager, but does he have the presence? I don't know. I think, but I don't know. You need somebody, and that's the NBA. Like the NBA is governed and run by the star player, their agent, and the shoe company. But you also need somebody with presence. And it's either right. It's either the head coach or it's some former player who's got enough presence and enough cachet that they could go down from their front office spot and talk to a player and say, "Hey, you better straighten this out." Like you need to have somebody with that level of presence in this organization. And I'm not saying Elton Brand has to go. I just don't know if he's that guy. So if he's not that guy, then you need to
done a decent job. I think he's done a decent job.
No, again, Harry, it's not about whether or not he's done a decent job pulling the trigger for Jimmy Butler or Tobias Harris. He's done a great job as a general manager. But my point of it is you need somebody with presence to be able to step to Joel Embiid or step to Ben Simmons. And if that's not Elton Brand, then it needs to be the head coach. I'm not saying if it's not Elton Brand, fire him.
Hold on a second. How many general managers step to a player to get them to change their habits off the ground? Like Jerry West might be a guy back in the day that could have done that. You think Sam Presti is getting in the face of? No, it's not.
I think that it's done via the coach or somebody in the. It doesn't have to be the general manager. It could be the president of operations. Phil Jackson is doing that. Phil Jackson was doing that.
Oh yeah,
that's what.
If Phil Jackson is the president of basketball operations,
so forget title. Forget title. Just look at the presence. You either have to have somebody in the front office or somebody on the bench that can come in there and correct issues and fix wrongs. And they clearly don't have that voice.
It ain't that guy.
No,
they just showed him. Brett Brown has got bad body language.
Harry, they're down 40.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, I remember you coming on saying that after they won game 2 that Brett Brown saved his job. Do you still believe that?
Yeah, I honestly I think that the team will keep him despite public opinion saying no.
Wow. I would go out and get a Tom Thibodeau and get in these guys' asses.
Well, apparently the Lakers want Thibodeau on their bench.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They want him as an assistant.
Oh, I'd get him as a head coach.
What about Igor Kakazov? You want him?
Oh, Kakasov. Or Ivan Koloff.
Ivan Koloff is available, Harry.
Yeah.
Now, Kakazov just got fired in Phoenix. You can bring him on the bench. No?
All right, we got some messages coming in. Kyle said, I'm not saying this in jest. At this point, let's play more McConnell. F it. Let's see what the hell happens. And I agree. Just put McConnell in. What does it matter right now?
Nothing matters right now. But then again, what are you really getting from this game?
Nothing?
That's what I'm saying. So if you're putting McConnell in there, you're just conserving, which is fine.
Yeah.
No starters should have been in this game at this point anyway.
I agree.
This has been one of the
He's in there. TJ's in there.
He is in there. This has been one of the more humiliating losses I think the Sixers or any Philadelphia team has been a part of that I can remember. And
it was
we can't say on one hand, Harry, that this is the biggest game of Embiid, Simmons, Brett Brown, Butler, Harris, everybody's career, and then not acknowledge that them losing it is one in this fashion is
well, it's not even losing it, it's losing it like this.
Yes. Now again, you can get us in on the fan line. We had a couple of people jump in. Anthony, TJ, it's very easy. It's the top right button. You could pop in on the fan line. We'll bring you right in. And it's a very easy way to converse with us on the great Fancred app. Some more messages. JB40, are you kidding me? No.
Yeah.
I
40.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah.
This is.
I tell you, I couldn't react enough. I was trying to text you, but I was driving and I thought it's not a good idea. But I'm listening to all these fanboys on the radio saying, "Oh, tonight's the night Ben Simmons is gonna explode," and I'm like, "What in the world makes you think that's going to happen?"
Nothing.
Outside of just being a fan,
there wasn't anything outside of Brooklyn that you could point to and say, "Okay, that's it." There's nothing you could point to in the game.
Nothing.
There's nothing at all. Every single thing that has led up to this disappointing performance has been right there in front of us. Right there in front of us.
All right, Ben Simmons, I'm going to read his line to you. 25 minutes, 7 points. He took 5 shots, made 3 of them. 1 of 1 from the free throw line, a -8, 7 rebounds, 5 turnovers, and 4 fouls.
Yeah. I mean,
Stinks.
At that point, what are you really doing?
Yeah.
What are you really now? What's crazy is that he's only -8. He only played 25 minutes, so the damage had been done.
Tobias Harris was a -34 in 34 minutes.
Well, they kept
and he
him
actually scored 15 points.
Yeah, they kept him in a lot during that stretch in the second quarter too, where they were just getting pounded.
They were just getting crushed when Embiid went off the floor.
Right, and that was a major problem.
Butler was a -17 tonight. He scored 22.
He scored his way out of it tonight, because he had a really bad night shooting as well.
Yeah, and Redick was terrible.
When
-21, 1 of 6 shooting.
You really had one game, right? It was game 2 in this series where everything came together.
Everything clicked.
Because even game 3 when they won, Joel Embiid was atrocious on offense. Or one of those games, I forget if it was game 2 or game 3, was atrocious on offense.
This is an interesting message just came through. The saddest part on Simmons.
From Cam.
And I can say this. Oh, it's from Cam?
Well, whenever there's no name attached to it, it's our producer.
All right. And I can say this as someone who saw him a
I
dozen
don't let you read the messages, Harry. Jesus.
What?
Go ahead.
Just go ahead. You just interrupted me. Shut up for 1 freaking second in your life.
You may continue.
The saddest part on Simmons, and I can say this as someone who has saw him a dozen times in high school, he used to have a mid-range shot, and he was the guy who always wanted the ball for the last shot. No more.
Well, what happened?
I don't know.
You get the yips?
LSU.
LSD. Something happened here, Harry. I don't know. The guy was only there for 6 months. How much could he have done?
He didn't go into any classes.
No. What the hell was he doing at LSU? They didn't even make the tournament.
I know. His coach got fired.
Right. And like 3 guys were hurt around him that year, too.
You bring in the #1 recruit in the world, and the coach gets fired.
That's terrible, man. That should have been the omen right there that this thing wasn't going to work. Something needs to change drastically. It's not going to be Ben Simmons. It's not going to be Joel Embiid. They're not going to move on from either one of these players. So I think –
why not?
Because you're locked in.
Why?
Because it's like Dak Prescott. It's because you can't start over with a top pick. It's really difficult. They're too good right now to start over with a top pick. How are they going to get to the top of the draft?
I don't know about that.
How are they going to get to the top of the draft to start over?
There could be moves to be made.
They don't have any moves to be made.
Yes, there are.
Okay, Ben Simmons is not going to get you to the top of the draft board. Joel Embiid might, but are you really going to trade Joel Embiid?
The only guy I'd trade Joel Embiid for is to New Orleans, who doesn't want to deal Anthony Davis to anybody like Los Angeles. I would try to make that move.
I think they'd rather trade him to Boston, but okay. If they can get Embiid back, then that's
what
different.
Are they going to get from Boston? They're not going to get Embiid.
Well, no, they're not going to get Embiid. My point of it, though, is that I don't think that's a fair trade. I would not trade straight up Anthony Davis for Joel Embiid if I have – because if I have Anthony Davis, I lose on that deal. You can't trust Joel Embiid. You put
Anthony Davis
in the playoffs. The guy.
What are your other options?
Your other options are you're getting something of you're getting more players. You're getting picks. You're able to clear cap space. That's a big thing, as opposed to bringing in a player that you're locked in for.
Yeah, but you also got to sell tickets.
They don't. They sat the guy for half a season. What are you talking about?
I know that.
Tickets. They're done selling tickets down there.
They're done selling tickets.
They are.
I want to unleash Joel Embiid on the French Quarter with his gastro issues, with all that great food. You send him into Emerald's restaurant, bam! And Joel's, eating shrimp. He's eating all kinds of freaking crawfish. He's guzzling down Shirley Temples.
Right.
Oh, it'd be great.
The Celtics have 2 first-round lottery picks.
That was a great bit. You just stormed right over it.
Well, I was looking up this thing. Sorry. We can go back. We can go back to Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid on Bourbon Street.
That's going to be a problem. He doesn't drink, but he's going to get into some trouble.
Yeah, I said Shirley Temples.
He's going to get into some trouble.
Oh, trombone shorty, man.
You just wanted to keep this going so you could do an Embiid impression. That's all. That's the only reason why you even bring him up anymore. It's just talk about that.
We hung out with trombone shorty.
Jesus. Get out of here.
Have you ever hung out with him?
Embiid?
Because I have.
Or Trombone Shorty?
Trombone Shorty.
No, I have not. Have you?
He's a legend.
A legend in New Orleans?
Yeah.
The only time I went to New Orleans was during the Super Bowl. And I want to forget everything that happened down there. I was there for a week, and it was a week too long.
Oh, Jeff says, oh, my God, please. Let's get an Embiid dining and cooking show in Nolans. Jesus, must-see TV. Yeah, yeah, Embiid cooking.
Can you imagine? No, so you send Embiid out, right? Here's the show, okay? Here's the show. You put Embiid in the middle of New Orleans with no GPS or nothing like that, and you say, okay, this is where you live. This is home. This is the only bathroom that you're going to be able to use over the course of the next 6 hours. And then you blindfold him and you randomly put him in a restaurant no farther than like a mile away. And you sit him down and you have him eat the most ridiculous shit that is going to blow his stomach out. And then the clock starts. You want that $1 million mile by LeBron James? This is a $1 million mile here. Joel Embiid has 30 minutes to get to that house and take a shit before he blows out in his pants, riding down some spot in the French Quarter.
That's terrible. That's a terrible idea.
That's $1 million idea from LeBron James camp. That's going to be on Showtime next to the barbershop.
Oh my God. I would like to watch him cook. I got the cayenne pepper. He's like throwing in spices and shit. It'd be great.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you watch this guy cook? What the hell do you want to watch somebody cook?
I would watch him basically do anything but go to the bathroom. Okay, like you described. You're talking about the whole show ends with him taking a dump.
No, that's the whole point. Is that you don't see that. The show ends with either him making it home or him giving you this look like, oh my God, I don't know where the house is. And that's it. Then fade to black.
That's the look I saw tonight.
So you're familiar with it. All right, Harry, I have a very important question for you. And I'm going to preempt morning sports talk radio here in Philadelphia because I know they're going to ask this question, okay? Game 6, is it a must-win?
What? Is that a poll question?
You know it's coming.
Let's go to the poll question.
You know it's coming.
Get in the poll, Guillermo.
Right. Is Game 6 a must-win? 6-1-0.
Yes, it is.
I would think so.
I think yes would at least have 65%.
I think that you would get closer to 70, but yeah, it would be a dominating poll to say the least.
I need one of these Rip City T-shirts. These long sleeved pregame things that Trailblazers wear.
That's pretty badass.
Cool.
Craig says he'd rather watch him do anything besides try to dribble the ball right now. It's hard to disagree with that, man.
Not bad.
So Boston has pick in number 9 that will convey outside the top 8 from Memphis and the 14th from Sacramento. That will convey if it's not the number 1, which we know it's going to be mathematically impossible. So they have 2 lottery picks that they can move.
Who?
The Celtics.
Boston?
Correct.
Wow.
Now it's not number 1 overall, but that's cool.
No, I know, but I'm Oh, well, Kawhi's out of there.
The game's over, man.
We saw that last night.
Right.
Kawhi's done.
Yeah,
in Boston.
I would agree with that.
Horford's another.
Kyrie, not Kawhi.
Or yeah, Kyrie. I'm sorry.
Yes, Kyrie is gone.
Horford's another year older. Tatum has not had a good playoffs.
Nope, disappeared.
I don't think that the whole thing with him and Kawhi. I think that's the issue. Last year, Tatum was good in the playoffs. No Kawhi Leonard. This year, Kawhi Leonard, Tatum stinks.
Kyrie.
All right, yeah, I keep saying Kawhi. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
But you know,
absolutely.
I'm like Tony Bruno right now.
Absolutely. No, I think that's the difference is you start to look at the Eastern Conference and you think, all right, well, how can the Sixers take full advantage of this, right? Because of movement that's going to happen. And, God, if the Celtics find a way to land Anthony Davis, that's going to be a problem.
Oh, big time problem. And I heard something today where Kawhi is really open to extending with Toronto.
Oh, man, that's a tough one.
Is that just agent speak?
He's just so difficult to figure out, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's just an agent getting that in to the media cycle to say, like, he really likes it here because they're still in the playoffs.
Right. I think that's probably more what you're getting than something that's valid. It's not really believable, is it?
I would put him. I would put Toronto at like the third or fourth option for him.
Yeah, I wonder if
LA.
If you're Kawhi Leonard, why wouldn't Philadelphia be a better option than Toronto?
Well, do you think he's looking at Philadelphia right now, thinking
probably not, but I'm just curious. Like,
these guys,
there will be teams.
Simmons is afraid, and Embiid is a night to night. Who knows? You know.
You're right. I think that'd probably be the bigger difference. Now that I'm thinking it through.
I tell you, I'm looking at this game. Portland and Denver's about to start. This series has been awesome.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised. I did not anticipate. Of all the 4 series in the second round, I thought this would be a snooze fest. I thought Portland would pretty hand. I
told you on the show I was looking forward to this series most.
Well, you know, there's no drama in this series, and I'm not saying that we need it in order for it to be a good series. But when you're looking ahead, you see, okay, Golden State is just dripping with drama. The Celtics are dripping with drama. The Sixers are constantly a conversation from
basketball.
Yeah, but that's the point, though, is that when it's playoffs, there are always themes, and there's things that bring you in. And the Nuggets, it's not their fault, but they're very unassuming. And what's happened now instead has been Jamal Murray is getting national attention for being the best player in this series.
Well, and the big center, man, he's unbelievable. This guy is one of the best passing big men I've ever seen. He reminds me of Sabonis Sr.
Sabonis is the best big man who's passer ever.
Sabonis, the father.
Yeah, correct.
The father. Yes.
Amazing passer. Now, have you made the move to the hockey game, or are you still on?
No, screw hockey.
Well, I got a guy coming up on the second level. I'm trying to do some research.
Well, I mean, what hockey game are we even caring about tonight?
Game 7, Dallas, St. Louis.
Oh, who cares?
Well, I got a guy who covers the Stars coming on my show tonight, Harry.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I got to make sure I'm paying attention.
Oh, jeez.
Doing some research.
Why?
Doing some recon. Because I can't talk NBA playoffs 5 nights a week on a national
Why not?
show.
Why not? The ESPN, Colin Cowherd does it every day on Fox.
Does he really?
Yeah.
What are you doing listening to that show? Aren't we on at the same time?
I don't have to listen to it. I know what he talks about. LeBron. He talks about LeBron when LeBron doesn't even fucking play.
I don't get that. People constantly repopulate that shit that he puts out there and then bitch and moan about it. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Why would you continue to go down that road? Unbelievable.
I guess it's successful. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. Brett Brown right now the number one trend in the United States.
Is that right? Why?
I imagine there are enough people in Philadelphia saying fire him that it's now become the top trend.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're not going to – I mean, I'm not saying he should survive, but are we not going to hold accountable the two starters that failed to –
Oh, yeah. You need to hold them both accountable and then accountable again and then accountable again.
And I mean, Redick sucked too, and I know, he needs to get the ball in great spots, but he sucked.
Yep.
They all sucked, to be honest with you.
It's a disgrace. The effort that we saw tonight was a disgrace, and it's something that should be called out. It's something that they need to go out and play and win Game 6 to remove this. That's the only way you remove this stench is by winning Game 6.
But the body language,
wait a couple of days for this as well, which sucks.
The body language, and we'll talk about this tomorrow in Mayes and Eytan, noon to 2, of Brett Brown was very interesting tonight. It was very kind of telling. Like you pointed me to that GIF.
Yeah.
And I was watching some other things later live on TV. His body language kind of gave me the impression that I'm done. Like, I had to win this series, and I know we're not winning the series now. I'm done.
Yep. That's it.
Like,
see ya. Gone.
It's over.
It is. And I think you're right. It's somebody who's realizing the end of his mortality.
Yeah.
And kind of anticipating this thing. And you can tell every now and again when cameras are on you 24/7.
All the time.
It's tough. It's tough to hide it. And sometimes you don't even know that you're not hiding it. It just comes out that way. We're about to have overtime. We're about to have overtime in Game 7, and you're poo-pooing it.
Oh, jeez.
Unbelievable.
So I gotta change to a hockey game?
Yep.
Are you kidding me?
Well, here's what we'll do. Game 6 is on Thursday. It's as big as it gets. It might be the end of the season. So pay attention to everything on Fancred. We'll let you know if we're back for Thursday night game. You can follow us on Twitter at Harry Mayes TU, at Shander Show. And we'll make an announcement as soon as we know if we'll close out Game 6 with you for another edition of Sixers Fourth Quarter Live. Harry Mayes and I will be back 12 to 2. Mayes and Eytan, as he said, 97.3 ESPN, 97.3 ESPN.com/app. You might want to take that off after they got beat by nearly 40, man. I'm just letting you know. All right.
Nobody wants to see me take this off.
No, we'll break and then you can take it off. Okay. Great job, Cam, our producer. Thanks again.
This show ain't free. Time for some ads.
On that note, hopefully we'll see you on Thursday.